I've got the book The Pigeon Has to Go to School by Mo Willems, and I'm going to show you exactly what questions to ask your kids when you're reading this book together to get the most out of reading comprehension. The themes developed in this book are the first days of school, anxiety, new experiences, relatability, emotions, confidence, growth, and learning. All right, the first question. All right, central idea. What problem is Pigeon facing, and what does he want? The problem Pigeon is facing is that he has to go to school, and he doesn't want to go to school. What does he want? He wants to not go to school. Okay, so what problem is Pigeon really facing? He has some anxiety and fear about the unknown. He doesn't know what school is going to be like, so he just is going to solve his problem by avoiding it. I don't need to go to school. I don't want to go to school. And he is going to convince us that he doesn't need to go to school and that he shouldn't go to school. That's how he's going to propose to solve his problem. Tell us that he doesn't need to go to school, convince us that he shouldn't go to school, and that tells us what problem Pigeon is facing and what he wants, and how he's going to solve the problem. All right, next question, key detail. What does Pigeon say that shows us he wants to avoid going to school? So this is a good evidence question. These are right there questions. You can point to the answer in the book. What does he say that shows us he wants to avoid going to school? Number one, he tells us he is not a morning bird. He says it is ugly when he wakes up, and we don't want to make him wake up early because we all know that that's ugly. Number two, he says he already knows everything. He doesn't need to learn anything else. Number three, he reminisces about being a chick, and he says, I wish I were just a little itty bitty baby chick again who didn't have to go to school. So those are three things that he says that shows us he wants to avoid going to school. He doesn't need to go to school. He doesn't want to go to school. He should not be made to go to school. Next question, character development. What does Pigeon's behavior tell us about what he's feeling inside? So Pigeon's behavior, this avoidance, this anxiety, this fear, his behavior tells us that he is scared of the unknown. He is scared of school. A very reasonable fear to have. Fear of the unknown, something that you have no idea exactly what it's going to be like. Super normal fear to have. He is also showing us he's afraid to be vulnerable. Going into a situation that you may or may not be prepared for, you will find yourself to be vulnerable and you don't know what's going to happen. It might be okay, it might not be okay. So he is also afraid of being in a vulnerable situation. And he is also afraid of a strict teacher, right? I guess that's part of the unknown. He doesn't know what his teacher is going to be like. So again, super reasonable to be afraid of something that is unknown. You don't know what it's going to be like. So that is what his behavior is telling us about what he's feeling inside. He also says it relatively clearly too. Okay, so much stuff to learn. What if his head pops off? He is just scared. What will happen at school? Fear of the unknown. Next question, key details. What does Pigeon say that explains exactly what unknowns he is worried about? So this is a great place to go back and pick out evidence, because this key detail question is a right there question. You can literally point to the answers, you can make a list. So what does Pigeon say that explains exactly the unknowns that he's worried about? One, he's worried about his teacher's gonna be too strict, not like pigeons. Number two, he says he's afraid he's gonna learn too much, his head might pop off. Number three, is paint going to stick to my feathers? Number four, social anxiety. Will the other birds like me? What if math is hard? What if reading is hard? He also talks about what about lunch? What about backpacks? But these are all real legit things that when a kid goes to school, they don't know what it's going to be like. They don't know if the other kids are gonna like them. They don't know if they're gonna like the activities. They don't know if the reading and the math is gonna be too hard. And Pigeon says like exactly, these are the exact things that I don't know what it's gonna be like, so I'm worried about it. Okay, next question, central idea. How does Pigeon propose to solve these problems? This is the pretty cute part because he says there should be a place where you can go to learn about all of these things and get prepared for these things. And he's like, oh, that place is school. So he literally proposes to solve his problem of the anxiety of school by like basically inventing school, the place where you go to learn about reading and learn about math and learn how to make friends and learn how to do activities. And like you have a teacher who's there to guide you and help you through everything. So it's funny because he literally proposes to solve his problem by inventing the place where you go to learn all of these things, which of course is school. And then he says, how am I supposed to get there anyway? And if you've read Pigeon wants to don't let Pigeon drive the bus, then you know, then you'll see the little allusion here to Pigeon and driving buses. Next question, character development. What is the turning point for Pigeon? So Pigeon is a real simple bird. The turning point for him is literally just that he gets to ride on the yellow school bus. So he throws away all of his fears and anxieties because now he gets to ride the yellow school bus, and that is really cool. So now he's not worried about anything because he's just excited to ride the bus. That's a very Pigeon move. Next question, central idea. What lesson does the author want the reader to take away? Okay, so now let's like actually get into it because Pigeon didn't learn anything. He's just excited to ride the bus. But we, the reader, we did learn stuff. We learn about overcoming fear of the unknown because Pigeon, in the end, concludes that the place to learn about reading, the place to learn about math, the place to learn how to make friends, the place how to learn to do different activities, the place to learn how to do the things that he has all this anxiety about is literally school. So we learn that the place to overcome the fear of the unknown is school because school is designed to help you encounter and learn about the unknown. That's literally its purpose. Next one. What lesson does the author want us to take away? The vulnerability. So Pigeon is really scared of all these unknowns at school. And in the book, we see that like these are legit fears. Like it is okay to feel vulnerable in these situations. That is natural. There is nothing wrong with it. These are big unknowns for a little kid, and it's completely okay to feel a little vulnerability and a little anxiety about this, but you should find it comforting that school is literally the place where you go to experience these things, and that the teacher is like literally it is their job to help guide you through confronting and getting through and learning all of these unknown things. And of course, like your teacher and family are going to be there to help. So that is Pigeon Has to Go to School, talking all about first days of school, first day jitters, new experiences, in a very relatable way because like all the anxiety he has is very understandable, very relatable, very real. The emotions, having confidence to do that, growing and learning, all in the Pigeon Has to Go to School.